Hello, welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone is welcome to join. We'll have our first participant, which is Claudia Shrina. I always get your name wrong, your last name, Shrina or Schweiner?
Good afternoon. It happened so quick that I was in the conference now. Claudia Sina.
Shrina, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
How are you today?
Yeah, a little tired, but everything is fine. I did some Dhamma studies, reading a book about the life of Venerable Ajahn, and reading this book gives a lot of peace to my mind. It's very beautiful to read it.
Yes, Dhamma book can be inspiring and also calming the mind.
Yeah, yeah.
If you cannot yet meditate, then you need to read the books. Because when you read the books, you have to be mindful of your reading.
Yes. So currently I don't have to work, and so I change between my meditation, reading a book, and sometimes I do a little Pali studies because I like the language Pali, and when I study the Pali vocabularies, it's also connecting me with the Dhamma, and this is all so meditation, reading a book, study a little bit the Pali language makes my mind very calm, and this is a very good feeling.
Yes, eventually you want to move to meditation as your main work. You know?
Yeah.
But if you cannot yet do it, then you have to rely on reading Dhamma books to give more mindfulness and more information about how to practice properly.
Yes, yes. And also study a little the Pali language also supports the concentration of the mind.
Yes, also understanding of the meaning of the words.
Yeah.
Good, as long as you stick around studying mindfulness and meditation, you're on the right track.
Thank you. Yeah, I will keep doing it.
Do you have any question today?
No, no question at the moment. Thank you so much.
Okay. We'll go to Professor Ken, also from Switzerland.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Tanajan.
Yes, good evening here.
Yeah, just after 2 p.m. here.
Okay.
Also, I was, like Claudia, I was, in the last 2 weeks, had a chance to do a lot of meditation, sitting and walking. And I found it quite useful when changing between walking and sitting to spend a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes reading something. And I reread the biography of Ajahn. I think I've read it about 3 or 4 times, but I found it very useful between meditation sessions to keep motivation and also learning at the same time. So I did also use the reading as part of the practice.
Good. When I was at Wat Yannasangwararam, I also read the biography of Ajahn in between my meditation practices. When I don't feel like meditating, and I'll read books by Ajahn Mahabua. And one of the books is the biography of Ajahn.
Yeah. I also recently obtained a copy of the biography of Ajahn Jia.
Yes.
Which originally was in Thai, but Ajahn Dick has recently published the English translation.
That's right. He sent me a few copies also.
Yeah, and a large part of that book, Ajahn Jia describes the time he spent looking after Ajahn Mun. So that was also something I read. It's a very, very good book. It's just been published in English.
Yes, I hope someone will do the audio version of it soon. Then I can post it on my Facebook page.
Yeah, I think the book is available on Ajahn Dick's website.
Or it's Dhamma Books, I think that's the name of the website.
Yeah, I picked up a hard copy at our local monastery, so just to recommend that one as well. Very good.
Very good.
Yeah. No questions today, Tanajan, just briefly letting you know.
Okay. Good to see you. Hope you do
Thank you.
well.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Next, Mike from Sheffield, Mike from New York.
Good evening, John.
I heard you have blizzard coming, already gone.
Oh yeah, it's been very snowy and very cold here in New York City. Happy New Year to you. How has your New Year been so far?
Peaceful, like every day, just another day.
That's good to hear. I'm keeping my meditation practice very consistent right now. I always try to keep it consistent, but since I'm going to Wat Metta in the beginning of next month, I wanted to make sure that I was meditating as much as possible before I go. I guess I wanted to ask a question about chanting. It's not something that's usually a part of my practice, though it is something I really enjoy and I love the sounds of it, and it can often bring my mind state to like a very serene place. But like, how necessary is it to have the chants memorized? And just like, how do you like frame the role of chanting in your practice?
Well, it's another way of developing your mindfulness. When you don't have enough strong mindfulness, when you meditate, you might not be able to contend with your thought that keep bothering or disturbing your concentration. Then you resort to do the chanting mentally. Then after a while, after you finish chanting, you have stronger mindfulness and your mind becomes calmer. Then you will find it easier to concentrate on your breath, for instance. That's how I did when I first started meditation. When I first started meditation, I could not focus on the breath. So I recite the 4 Foundation of Mindfulness Sutta in English, so I could understand the meaning of it. So that after reciting for about 30 or 40 minutes, my mind feel calm and have enough mindfulness to be able to watch the breath. So I think that's the purpose of chanting, to get the mind away from all these thoughts that you've been thinking all day long. And then after the thoughts are gone, then your mind becomes more or less empty and ready to concentrate on your meditation object. But if you can start with watching your breath, then you don't need to do the chanting. Another way is reading Dhamma books also, or listening to Dhamma talk. If you're a beginner and you find it hard to concentrate on your breath, then you can use listening to Dhamma talk or reading Dhamma books to calm your mind down, to develop more mindfulness. Then after you finish reading or listening to Dhamma talk, then you can continue on with meditation. And if you you're chanting in the language that you understand, you can also get wisdom, knowledge from your chanting also. Because most of the chanting are the suttas of the Buddha, the discourses by the Buddha. But if you chant in Pali, you will not be able to understand the meaning. So you will only get mindfulness. But if you chant in your language you can understand, then you also get knowledge or wisdom. and mindfulness. So it's another way of meditation. Before pre-meditation, if you cannot sit and concentrate on your breath or on the mantra, then you have to use this chanting or listening to Dhamma talks or reading Dhamma books. This can keep your mind calm and not be distracted by otherworldly thoughts. So do whatever you like, I guess. Whatever makes your mind feel peaceful and calm, then it's okay. But eventually, the best method of calming your mind is to meditate. If you want to get deep into jhana, then you need to be focusing on one object. Focusing and just watching your breath or reciting your mantra. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ajahn.
Is that all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next, I'll go to Dinka. Hi, Dinka. Where are you from? I forgot.
Oh, Canada.
Canada, okay.
Yeah.
Very cold now, I heard. It's very cold too.
No. I'm in Thailand now.
Oh, you're in Thailand, okay.
Yeah. Well, I was in Wat Yan recently, and now I'm in Chiang Mai.
Chiang Mai, this,
Yeah, a little cooler, just perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
good. What can I do for you?
Oh, I don't know. I just wanted to say hello and pay respects and see you and hear you, you talk to other people, and then it helps me too. So mostly I listen, but don't have many questions.
That's good. Maybe later on, if you have some question, you can ask later on.
Maybe later. I don't practice so actively, so that's why I don't have questions. I can say that I practice all the time, but I don't sit much. And so my questions would be, I don't know, theoretical, philosophical, and I don't want to ask those.
Yes, because in practice, you want to stop thinking. That's the goal.
Yeah. Okay, I have one question. I listen to Dhamma talks a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot, daily. And it has been like that for many years. But I sometimes think, and what I get from Dhamma talks, most of it I know because I've heard so many Dhamma talks, but it's very inspiring to me still and again and all the time. But I'm thinking maybe I should cut down on my Dhamma talk listening, because in a way it substitutes my practice, my meditation. So I should starve myself from Dhamma talks and meditate instead. What do you think about that?
You can do them both together. See, first you listen to Dhamma talk. When you finish, then you continue on with meditation without having to take a break. Just sit in meditation posture while you're listening to Dhamma talk.
Yeah.
And when you feel your mind is calm enough to concentrate on your breath, then you turn off the Dhamma talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, because sometimes if you start with just with meditation, your mind may not be mindful enough to stick to the breath. So you use listening to Dhamma talk first to get more mindfulness for you. Then after listening to Dhamma talk and your mind doesn't go thinking about other things, then you can stop listening to Dhamma talks, and then watch your breath instead.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
Okay, try it. Because eventually meditation is the best thing
Yes.
of all practices. Meditation is the best.
Yeah, that's clear. Yes.
Yeah. You have to go there, if you want to find the best result
Yes.
for your mind. But sometimes it's hard to get there, so you need some other thing to help push you there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like reading Dhamma books, start listening to Dhamma talks, do chanting, for instance, or be mindful all day long. If you can do that, that will be fine also. Stay mindful with your body, movement all the time. Just keep watching your body. What is your body doing now? Eating, drinking, washing dishes, do anything. Just tie your mind to the body. Don't let go away from the body. Don't let the mind go think about the future or the past or here and there.
Yeah.
Just keep it with the body to reduce your thoughts. Yeah. If you're just watching, then you don't have to do much thinking. When you don't do much thinking, then your mind can become empty and calm. And when you meditate, it will be easy for you to get the mind to become calm real quickly.
Yes. I have another question, actually, a little question. When I was in Wat Yan, so I noticed, well, that there is a lot of chanting in the day, like in the morning, in the evening, and then only 10 minutes of meditation. And is it because people are meant to meditate on their own in their kutis, in their rooms?
Well, I think people find it difficult to meditate, so they don't meditate much.
Yeah.
It's easier for them to do the chanting. But when they have to start meditating, they feel suddenly stressful, having to sit still and do nothing. So they might not be able to do it for long.
Mm-hmm.
So they just do it just
Yeah.
enough. But maybe another reason is if you want to sit longer, then it's better for you to go back to your room and do it in your room. And you can sit there for as long as you like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if people come to listening to my Dhamma talk, I usually give about 1 hour Dhamma talk. So
Yes.
people just sit and listen to the talk for 1 hour.
Yes.
People sometimes they find they cannot sit and have nothing to do for 1 hour. So they need something to do, like listening to Dhamma talk, chanting, or reading books.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
I just remembered, not just, but it comes to me every once in a while. When I was in Wat Yan, and then when I was leaving, I told you that I wanted to do something for you, so that I want to make videos for you. And when your video people are, I don't know, busy, or if you have bigger projects, then you could give it to me to do. And you said, okay, I'll keep that in mind. And then you said, I don't know what you said because my hearing is not so good. But what I think you said was Nibbana is the best video. And I thought that was a good one.
Yes, that's the best one, Nibbana. Yeah.
I can't make that one.
You can only make it for yourself, but not for other people. Nibbana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so how long you plan to stay in Thailand before you go back to Canada?
Until February.
Okay.
And in a couple of days, I'm going to go to Wat Yannasangwararam.
Yeah.
and then back here, and then back home.
Then you go back to Birken Monastery.
I go back to Birken, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah.
Ah, yes, you do.
Yeah.
But next year I'll be back here.
Okay, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Next, Alvin from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Namaskar, Ajahn. I'm just listening in. I have no question. Pay respect. Thank you.
Okay, Kafai Lim, also from Malaysia. Are you from KL also, Kafai Lim? I think he's meditating. Cannot hear me. I'll go to outsource him then.
Good evening, Ajahn. I'm just listening and paying respect to Ajahn.
Okay. Kafai Lim, can you hear me now?
Hey you. Good day to you, Ajahn.
Yes.
I'm listening. I'm not really feeling well recently.
Are you from KL also?
Yes, I'm from KL.
Okay. Good. Get well soon.
Yeah. And thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Rohini from the UK.
Good evening, Ajahn. No question today, and just want to listen to Ajahn and pay my respect.
Okay.
I
Your practice is going well.
yeah. It is. Ajah's advice really inspired me to progress in meditation. I keep practicing, alternate sitting, listening to Ajah's Dhamma talk, and reading Dhamma book. So trying to reach samadhi, but still mindfulness is not so strong. So
Yes, it
that's
takes time. Just be
Yeah.
patient. Just keep doing it.
yeah. This last few months, Ajahn said was really helped me to progress. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Next, Marco from the Netherlands.
Hi, Ajahn. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I have a few questions. First, I would like to report.
Go ahead.
I think meditation is going better. When I do the 8 precepts and I eat less, I get less drowsy, so I see more benefit there. I have a question for Ajahn. I noticed that last time or the time before you mentioned when there's a discussion, I used to be the type of arrogant person that wants to step in and know best, and I'm trying to bite my tongue really, and it's helping. It's getting better actually. The question I have for you is that I'm realizing now the more practice doing that I'm not able to find the right words to express what I think or understand. And what I mean to say with that is that I have a feeling there's a difference between knowing something and having true wisdom. And is that logical? Does that sound logical to you? That when I re-listen or reread Dhamma books or Dhamma talks, I seem to understand things better. But if I try to explain it when I'm talking, for instance, to my wife, then I'm failing to find the proper words, or at least I'm not able to convey it in a way that I think I understand. Is that I don't want to ask normal, but is that understandable?
Well, Dhamma is a subject that only fellow practitioner of Dhamma can understand. It's like when you're talking engineering, you have to talk to engineers and they understand the language. If you talk to somebody who is not in the engineering circle, they might not be able to understand what you're talking about. So
Yeah, that's
especially the experience that you get from your practice is not normal for usual. It's not usual or ordinary for ordinary people to understand.
true. I understand what you mean. Yeah, the blessing that I have is my wife, that she's doing a lot of Dhamma practice as well. So I'm able to actually talk to her about those things. But I'm realizing that when I try to explain indeed how I feel about something or try to get the right words, I think that an old habit of mine is that I felt misunderstood. I think that that's it. And now it's like I don't even know the words to explain certain things, like when I'm having certain experiences. But I also think it's because my practice is not that far yet. But I do sense a lot of difference, that I'm feeling more mindful about what I'm doing, about how my body is when I'm walking. But yeah, it's interesting to see. At least I'm happy now that I'm able to stand back and not try to get entangled in conversations anymore, where I was always feel the need to do so, and now I'm really holding back, and I feel there's a benefit in that. But at the same time, it also feels like sometimes I just don't want to talk now, because I feel like every word that I say is not really what I feel, or not what is really there, or what I try to convey, or I'm concerned that what I say will be misinterpreted, or it's improper to say, or it's not mine to say. I put it like that. It's not mine to say. And I think that that's one of the things that I'm experiencing as well. Everything seems a bit more empty, which gives a calm, peaceful feeling. So I want to keep following that. And I do feel sometimes a bit eager to have a teacher close by who can help with some point or some directions. I know my work is getting in my way of my practice. But in the morning, for instance, I know that the hindrance that I have when I'm meditating is work. I know the restlessness feeling, but the interesting bit is that I see it now. I see this as this thing inside me it's not peaceful. So, but you see it, it's not, and this is one of those words that I can't explain. It's, you have this feeling that there's something there that's in the way, and there's no word for it, but I know it's restlessness, and that's why I'm not progressing. Whereas in the evening, if I'm meditating, I don't have that feeling at all, and it feels more. I know that it helps me throughout the day to do my meditation in the morning. And I also try to do less walking meditation and more sitting meditation. And I guess my question for Ajahn is how should I proceed? Is this, there's no normal way of practice, I guess, or not one fine line, because there's different characters, right? But how do you find what is the best method for your character? Just by practicing, trying?
Well, normally you use your mindfulness of the body as your principal, object of mindfulness. But if sometimes you feel restless and you're not able to focus on your body, or you're focusing on your body to stop your restlessness, you might have to use some mantra, maybe Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, Buddho, or something. Just keep reciting these words. It can help calm the mind down.
Okay.
Or that sometimes that can also help stop your restlessness. Because sometimes your restlessness comes from your cravings to achieve, to get something, to do something. But then when you think about that, you say, "What am I trying to do?" In the end, I'm gonna lose everything anyway.
What's the point?
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, that's a very sobering one indeed. It's interesting when you say it. It sounds so logical, and then that thought doesn't come up, and I think that that's just on purpose that it's not coming up, right? Otherwise, it would help. I would immediately feel calm. It's like, yeah, what's the point? Why bother?
Or sometimes your restlessness might be sexual. Then you might have to think of the 32 parts of the body.
Yeah, that's a very good one as well. And I've realized that I've been more in the past. I didn't really write down the things that I was thinking about, and I've been trying to discuss this with my wife more as well. And I think that in the past there was a big problem there, and since I've exposed it, I have the feeling that it's getting less, also because of the practice, but they're still there. I mean, I know there's still the lust there. It's not beaten at all, but I do realize that thinking about the body helps a lot. Looking at Asupa helps a lot, because I'm not seeing much difference between my own gross body and the one of others. So that's a good thing. But is it correct then that the craving that's in there is so deep that it surpasses that bit then? It's not.
The craving sometimes they comes in cycle. They come maybe every 7 days, every 15 days. they seem to go stronger and stronger, and then they subside. Once you have satisfied its craving, then it subside, go back down to zero, and it's gradually building up again the next cycle.
Yeah, and the last time that I had it coming up in the weekend, I was immediately trying to do like puta, 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 and trying to get it away. And I realized that if you do that from the beginning very fast, it works. But if it's deeper, then it's more difficult to get it away. Then you have to be more hardcore, really like decapitate a body or something, or just in your mind just to try to get away from it.
That's right. It depends on what type of cravings you have. See, if sexual, then that asupa, or the corpses or the 32 parts of the body will be more appropriate. But if something like ambition, you want to achieve something, then you might think of death, for instance.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's an interesting one. It's like I realize whenever I'm at work, then the emissions do come up, and then that actually starts prevailing, and then why? Thank you, Tanaja.
Sometimes we forget our destination, where we're going.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we have to go anyway, right? So why bother to worry
Yeah,
about it so much?
That's right. The Buddha teaches us at least to recite the aging, sickness, and death formula every day. When you get up, when you finish meditating, recite it that I'm subjected to aging, sickness, and death, and separation from the one I love.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the chants that I do in the morning, the Jarada Momi Jaranganatito. That I do that in the morning, and I try to do that when I start my meditation as well, to at least realize those portions.
It's a good way to start your day with, so you know you don't lose track of the destination that you are going toward.
The real truth, yes.
Yeah. The real destination.
Indeed. Thank you, Tanaja.
I found this very helpful when I started practicing Buddhism. I find this reciting this aging, sickness, and death formula a very sobering fact.
Yeah, it's happening. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't exclude anybody. It
It's
happens.
what made Prince Siddhartha decided to become a monk. Yeah. Because he saw an old man, a sick man, and a dead man. And he saw a monk. The fourth divine sign, they call that.
Yeah, actually, so I have a question for you. I remember you were mentioning one of the other times about visiting the mortuary, right? I'm trying to find a mortuary in the Netherlands that I want to do. I want to really go there and see the body itself and also really experience that together with my wife.
You can check the medical school if they have any autopsy for the students. Then you can join them.
Yeah, because I know that you mentioned that in Thailand you actually do that once a year, right? To go to one of those places.
Yes, here a monk organize a trip once a year, but it doesn't mean that there's only one autopsy once a year. I think they have all the time.
That would be strange if it's only one a year.
Well, I just want to clarify,
Fair enough. Sorry, Tanaja. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I think that will be helpful for us. We've been looking at a lot of Asupa, and I think it's different to see something on a screen than see it in real life. I think it hits home more.
Yeah, seeing is believing. When you see the real thing, you cannot help believing the truth.
Yeah, true. Thank you, Tanaja.
Okay. Is that all for now?
That's all for today. Thank you, Tanaja.
Okay. Next, Kokseng from Singapore.
Greeting, Prajan. This evening I have a few questions like to seek Prajan advice. First, just like to update Prajan. Yesterday, during offering of dana to the monks at Pinabata, I was very happy to see a familiar face, and that is Willy's brother Siddhartha. Yeah, he's now Suchart, and I was very happy to offer Dana to him and prostrate in front of him. So it's a very and I'm able to prostrate in front of him. Yeah.
Yes.
Then Prajan, my second question is about my bhavana. Just so this morning I'm able to sit from 5 to 7 before I exercise. I'm able to endure the pain for about 2 hours, and for the later part of the morning, trying to sit for 2 hours, but was unable to. After about 1 hour, slightly after an hour, so the pain was very excruciating, and I was not able to continue. Even though I'm trying to use Buddho or use Anatta. So I had to so-called declare, okay, I did pass the test for the later part of the morning. So just want to check, Prajan, any advice on this?
Well, when you feel that you can no longer sit, if you want to continue sitting, then you have to recite a mantra or do some chanting. Then you might be able to continue sitting for another while.
Okay. Then I would, yeah. Okay, I will try to recite, to see how.
Anicca, you can recite Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. The pain is Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. Leave it alone.
The later part of morning I tried Anatta, but maybe I did not persevere long enough. So maybe I try to persevere slightly longer in my next sitting.
Yes, if you don't stop reciting, you will be able to continue on. But as soon as you stop, then you will not be able to continue on.
Prajan, actually I also discovered that when my mind drift fantasizing about something, then I find that the mind somehow temporarily forget about the pain. And then when I realize that my mind drift off there, I tell myself, oh, back to the breath, back to breath. So when back to breath, the pain becomes more obvious. But I think this drifting of the mind to fantasize, even though the pain may be temporary, so-called out of the mind, but I think it's not the correct way to so-called overcome the physical pain.
Yes, the goal is to remain still, keep the mind still with equanimity, then it will be able to withstand the pain and leave the pain alone. So you have to continue on with your mindfulness, chanting or reciting a mantra, because watching the breath might not be strong enough for the mind to be able to remain still. Well, when you recite a mantra, it's like fantasizing, but you're just fantasizing a word instead of something else.
But it's the more so-called the more correct way of fantasizing rather than fantasizing about the future and so on.
Yes, because sometimes when you think about something that is not pleasant, you might even get stronger suffering, more suffering than not.
Yeah. Okay. Prajan, my third question is about fear or aversion. So this actually happens for many years already, but I have not so-called try to find a solution to it. And that is every time whenever I walk along the footpath, along along my house here, there's a lot of trees, and sometimes there are those crows will be crowing, and whenever I walk under along footpath and the crow crowing above, so there's this aversion because the crows sometimes they will fly down, and then they will use their feet and hit people and so on. So there's this fear whenever I walk under the trees with the crows crowing in a very threatening way. So may I ask Prajan, so how should I teach my mind so that there's this fear or this aversion of crows will not arise in me, causing dukkha?
Aversion of what?
Aversion of the birds crow.
The crows that are on the tree.
Yes.
I see. Well, you ask yourself, what is there to be afraid of, or why do you don't like the crows? Investigate. Ask yourself. What can the crows do to you?
They have the crows actually. They have when I was walking, it happens once. They actually fly and then after use their feet to hit the back of my head before. So I had one such experience. Yeah. And the second thing, the sound made by crow is can be quite threatening. Yeah.
Well, you have to look at it as a natural phenomenon, like lightning and thunder. Something that you cannot prevent or stopping. Just you have to learn to accept them. But if you can avoid them and you walk on the other side of the road, then just go walk on the other side.
Okay.
But if you have to walk on that side, then you just have to say, well, hope nothing happens to me. Just hope for the best, but expect the worst.
Okay. So I think to accept that all these are natural phenomena, just like the rain.
That's right. You cannot control them. So you cannot tell them what to stop or not to stop. So if you have to be there, then you just have to keep your mind calm, reciting Bhutto, or Anicca Dukkha Anatta, and just forget about the crows like the pain when you meditate. They are the same thing, the same aversion. You have aversion for the painful feeling. Now you have aversion for the crows. So you can use the same method of calming your mind and stop the aversion.
Okay. Okay. I think I will try it out. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prajan.
Good. Let us know how it works.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Next, Christine Koe from Penang. You going back to the monastery again, or you not yet?
No leave.
You lack the courage to go back. It takes a lot of courage to go to the monastery, isn't it?
Not really. It's just that I have not enough leave, so I have to save leave beginning of the year.
But it's easier to go to shopping malls, right?
No.
No?
No. Now I save more money for future plan. Maybe I'll try to visit Thailand more. Now I start to learn some Thai language. But my Thai, a lot of my It's same as some Hokkien.
Yes, mai means no. Mai mean no have.
ไม่เข้าใจไม่กว่า a lot
Good, good. Okay.
yeah, so I maybe I plan to become คนไทยnext year or next few years.
Good. So you can understand the Dhamma talks better in Thai.
Yeah. And we plan to try see whether I still alive or not. So I plan to stay in Thai next time I want to retire soon, so I can practice more in full time.
Good, good.
Mm.
You should have a goal set up so that you know what to do. Good.
Yes. Today I come in to pay respect to Tanajan.
Okay,
That's
good
all,
to
no
see you.
question.
All right, you're welcome. Next, Get Genso, also from Penang. You know each other? You meet each other? Living in the same city?
Then Ajahn, just to pay respect, no, we never meet each other. Yeah, physically.
Yeah. You should set up a date.
Yeah, maybe we should meet one day. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Next, Nita and Saket. Looks like the house is empty now, Nita.
Good evening, Tanajan.
Nearly empty.
Almost empty. Yes. Yesterday we sold our car as well. So now we are without the car and it feels good.
Yes, no responsibility. No worry.
Unburdened.
Yes.
A question was coming to me, Tanajan, about I'm still trying to figure out how to frame it, but so I met someone who's extremely generous, who's like really generous and who would spend most of their salary and most of their money in generosity. And but then they have to really work hard for that and they have to continue doing that. And I was feeling what's the right way forward? Like more generosity, more meditation, like what's that balance, or is there a balance at all? Like I was getting a little confused about that.
It depends on what you can do. If you can meditate, then you should concentrate more on meditation. But if you cannot yet meditate, then you might find it easier to do generosity. But eventually you want to move up to meditation, but that's the hardest part. So some people start with the generosity first and hope that this generosity will give them strength to be able to move up to the next, is by keeping the sila, keeping the precepts. And then after you be able to keep the precept, then you will have more strength to do the meditation. Dhyana, sila, and bhavana, they are like steps. Like going to school, you start with first grade, second grade, and third grade. You keep on. When you first start doing generosity, it's easier than keeping the precepts. Yeah. And when you do generosity, it makes your mind become more loving and kind. So you don't want to hurt other people. So you will find it easier to keep the precept afterwards. And if you keep the precept, then you'll find that your mind becomes calmer. And it will be easier for you then to meditate. So this is usually the natural progress for practitioner, starting from dana, going up to sila, and then going up to bhavana, meditation. Once you're doing bhavana, then you can forget about dana. You can just keep up everything up once and for all, and then concentrate on your meditation. Like people giving up their wealth and become a monk once. You're moving from generosity to bhavana, to meditation and sila. When you become a monk, you have to keep the precepts and practice meditation. So you don't worry about doing any more generosity because you give up all your wealth.
One drawback I was thinking about generosity is when there's too much of generosity. I mean, it's very good, it's extremely good, but then if the self becomes too strong and thinks that, oh, I am doing this, I'm getting the appreciation. I thought that that's an imbalance. Like it feels like people are doing it just to get a lot of praise, and then that increases the self, and that's actually a hindrance to moving up into the not self, the anatta.
Well, you don't have to do it like that. You can do it with a non-self way, by not declaring yourself, not letting people know that you're the one who give the sponsorship or the things that you give. You can be anonymous if you don't want to reduce yourself. Some people do like this. They do it quietly, not announcing, not making it publicized. So it depends on how you do it. Some people like to do it publicly, wants to let people know that you are generous and that you're giving, so forth.
So something to be wary of, so that the self doesn't become too strong.
Yes.
Thank you, Hansa.
Okay. Second.
Yes, and Tanajan, I had a question also, in a way related, maybe, that, when we talk about giving away wealth, etc., Tanajan, then now, for example, as parents are getting old, then they were telling us, well, there'll be greater medical expenses and things of that sort. So, I mean, how does one deal with that? Because then greater medical expenses means we need to maybe earn more money, or I mean, how do we manage that material need and our spiritual journey?
Well, if you're on a spiritual journey, you don't care too much about your body. You just let it be naturally, If it's gonna get sick or die, then let it get sick and die. If you cannot afford to pay for your medical expenses. Because if you can do this, you actually are progressing and spiritually because you are letting go of your attachment to your body. So for people who's on a spiritual path, they are willing to get sick and die. Because this is the way of becoming a sotapanna. You want to become a sotapanna, you must be willing to give up your body. So then there will be no problem as far as sickness or death is concerned with a spiritual developer.
Yes, yes. Tanajan, also in terms of parental care, for example, because isn't there, like, how do we deal with that challenge?
It depends on what position you're in. If you're still a layman, then you have to look after your parents if they cannot look after themselves. It's your responsibility as the offspring of them. But if you're a monk, then you cannot really do anything much for them except you can share the food that you collect from the alms round and feed them.
Okay, that's a challenging one for me to work with, but I will keep that in mind, Tanajan, and contemplate on it.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, Nining from Indonesia.
Yeah, Ajahn. Good evening, Ajahn. Ajahn, when practicing meditation, now every 2 a.m., I always do sitting meditation. It's just like when I plant a seed, I look after it, I care for it, watch it grow, and I certainly hope that I will reap the result. But if in this meditation practice, honestly, I hope that I am the one who reap the result of my practice. And if and every day, I believe I have already get the result. That's I become more happy, more calm, more mindful. But my question is, Ajahn ever said that if we don't reach Sotapanna in this life, so we don't have any guarantee that we can bring all of our practice in the next life. So actually, I want to continue this practice in the next life. So actually, honestly, I won't be the one that reap the result. So is this attachment, Ajahn? Is this attachment?
It is good attachment because these things are good for you. See, meditation is good for you, so it's okay. It's like when you are attached to medicine. When you're sick, you need medicine to
Yeah.
help cure your illness. So there's good attachment and there's bad attachment. See. Good attachment give you peace and happiness. This is good attachment. Bad attachment is when it gives you suffering. So if you attach to anything and it causes you suffering, then you have to give up, like attaching to your body. But attaching to the precept, attaching to meditation, this is good for your mind. You can
That's why I want,
you can take this with you into your next life.
yeah, I want to make it become my habit because because I'm happy with this and I don't want to lose it. That's why I do the regular practice every
Yes.
day.
We call this perfection or parami, 10 paramis, the 10 perfection.
Oh,
Dana, sila, loving kindness, meditation, ubeka, wisdom.
yeah.
So these are good for you. This will lead you to Nibbana by yourself if you cannot find Buddhism in your next lifetime.
Yeah, all Ajahn statement give me courage because Ajahn said eventually we will get there. We will get nibbana. So I do practice. Eventually I will get jhana and get higher and higher if I continue in this path.
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. Good.
Yeah,
So
so
don't worry about attachment to this thing. These are good attachment.
oh, okay. So I don't, because I have that kind of attachment, and then I don't want to be suffer of my attachment. That's why I asked Ajahn, so I can continue this good attachment to improve, to encourage my practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should be attached to loving kindness, to dana, to sila, to nekama. Nekama is to give up sensual pleasures. Don't seek sensual pleasures. Keep the 8 precepts. Keep the 8 precepts. And then ubeka or equanimity that you gain from your meditation and wisdom. These are the 6 parami that you want to be attached to as much as possible.
Yeah, sensual pleasure are painful. I stick to that statement. Before I cannot accept all, but now I become more simple with my life. I'm not looking for coffee. I'm not looking for. Usually after wake up, I'm thinking of I want to eat this, that. I want to order this and that. Now it's all very simple, and I become more and more happy.
That's right.
Because yeah, I don't want to attach to the food, to everything, to my body. I only stick to my practice because this, I don't know, it makes me very happy. I love the sitting meditation, especially.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to love. It doesn't hurt you. Meditation never hurts you. But everything else will hurt you if you love them.
Yeah, everything and everyone is harmful for the mind. That's
Yes,
what
because they are anicca, dukkha, anatta.
yeah. But only the special and only for my mom that I love her, so I can forgive all of her done whatever she done to me. That's
Loving kindness is good, but not possessive love. Possessive love is bad.
okay, Ajahn. Thank you. So I will stick to my practice.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you, Ajahn.
you're welcome. Next step. Is it cold in Oregon right now also?
It's actually, well, yes, it is cold, but during the day it's really nice. It's been very rainy and it's been sunny now, so I feel alive again. The sun is back. I kind of have it's kind of a silly question. I was listening to one of your Dharma talks and someone was asking you about the pure mind. They were from a different tradition. And you said something about the Buddha with Nibbana, where he's not gone, pretty much is what you were saying. And so my son was asking me, he's like, if you could have lunch with someone from the past, you'd choose the Buddha, right? And I said, no, I wouldn't want to do that to the Buddha. I wouldn't want to make him come back. Does that,
you have
does that make sense?
You cannot just tell the Buddha to come and have lunch with you.
Right. I can't make the Buddha, right? That's true. That's true.
And usually the Buddha will stay secluded most of the time because he has nothing to do with us anymore because we are suffering.
And but it's not like Buddha didn't like disappear.
He's a mind that exists by itself.
Okay.
Doesn't need to have anybody to make it happy.
And he doesn't need to come have lunch with me.
So he doesn't want to have lunch or meet anybody.
Yes, yeah. Okay. All right. That's all. It was just silly, but yeah. Okay.
But in some special cases, he might contact you if you have special psychic power, enabling to be able to contact with the spiritual beings. Sometimes one of the Buddha or one of the Arahant might contact you, maybe because due to your past connection. Maybe you were past friends or something like that, and he just thought of you and wants to help you. Like in the biography of Ajahn, if you read or heard, sometimes Ajahn says sometimes one of the Buddhas or one of the Arahants will come and visit him in his meditation. But these are special cases.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to bring that up. I have I've had some very deep meditations where I feel it feels profound, but I can't say that anyone spiritual is talking to me. But I've definitely I know this is the path because the experiences I have in my meditation. So yeah.
Good. Sometimes it can be psychic and sometimes it can just be imaginary.
Well, what's imaginary is I do feel that I see it's like my idea of the Buddha. But it's this, I know it's not the Buddha, but it only came to me like later in my I've been meditating for 8 years now. And it's like, now I feel like but I know that's just imaginary. I don't attach to it, but I do have, I don't know.
If there's something, another being contacting you, you should be able to communicate with that being, conversing like you and I talking right now.
It's more just like feeling like I'm sitting with. That's
it's
what
probably,
it feels like.
It's probably your mind, fabrication of your mind.
Yes, that's why I don't attach to it. But I do.
Just treat it as anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Yeah.
Just know that it comes and go.
Yeah. Okay. But it is
it's an experience, a good experience. Yeah.
Yeah, very, yeah. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, Gary from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. I have no questions. Just happy to be listening in.
Okay. B. Ravin.
Hi, good evening, Ajahn.
Yes. Good evening to you.
I'm back in Bangkok now, back to work now.
Mhm.
So, Prajan, just listening to your previous discussions, you mentioned about the 10 paramis. So these are things that we should practice, right? They are things that will help
Inhabit
to
yourself with.
support.
Inhabit yourself with. Make it a habit. Make it a habit to have to practice to be loving and kind, to give generously, to keep the precepts, and to stay away from sensual pleasure as much as you can, and to meditate to get to jhana, to get to equanimity, and to develop wisdom by study the teaching of the Buddha. This might be able to go with you, some of it. It depends on how much you can inhabit within yourself.
I see. I observed, Prajan, that I think when you mentioned about dana, sila, and samadhi, I find that when I practice them, they actually support each other. Sometimes
That's right. They're like steps that you walk on. When you have to go up to the next flight, you have to use a step. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. So step 1 support the step 2. Step 2 support the step 3.
I notice sometimes when my mind is a bit restless, I try to do some charity or focus on the precepts. It helps to kind of purify my mind. So
Calm your mind
that's
down.
what I observe. Whenever I feel lost, I try to reflect on, oh, I can do good, do charity, help people out, and kind of helps my mind to calm down. And then vice versa, when I after I do it, I feel I can meditate more wholesomely because my mind is at peace. So
That's right.
that's my reflection.
That's correct.
These three
That's correct.
sort of. And Prajan, just now you mentioned about if I were to encounter anything during meditation, I should ignore it and just focus on my object of meditation.
Yes. Stay focused. Concentrated on your meditation object. That's the only way to get into jhana. See? If you once become distracted, then you can no longer get in. You have to bring back the concentration. So don't pay attention to anything that appears during meditation. Mostly they are mental fabrication. Because your mind lapses from mindfulness, your mindfulness lapses. So it enables the mind to fabricate things, to deceive you. And you're the one who deceive yourself by interpreting them to be this and that. When in fact you should not interpreting anything, you just observe them for what they are. They just appear and disappear. And they're not under your control. So it's best to forget them, ignore them, and come back to your concentration. And they will disappear by themselves once your mind becomes concentrated.
Yes, I find that meditation is not easy to achieve, but very easy to lose. You know, sometimes I can sit and become calm for just 5 minutes, and then I can start to find that my mindfulness is waning, and then I try to use the mantra to kind of boost up my meditation again. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but
yes, sometimes you go to sleep because you lose your mindfulness. You fell asleep
but at least
while meditating.
But I think the one positive I can say, Prajan, is I no longer feel sleepy meditating anymore because I avoid eating before I meditate now. So
yes.
I make sure I'm on an empty stomach.
That's
and
good.
That really helps.
Yeah. Food moderation is very important for meditator.
And I also observe that my craving for food reduces after I meditate.
Because your mind becomes full. See? Meditation is the real food for the mind, not the food for the body. But when the mind feel hungry, you think that it has to give the body the food, but that never satisfies the mind. The mind can still get hungry after a few hours. Yeah. But if you give the right food to the mind, which is meditation, then the mind becomes full and doesn't feel hungry. Even if you might miss the meal or something, it doesn't bother you. Because the one who's hungry is the mind, not the body. But you give the body the food and not the mind. So the mind keeps hungering for more and more. So the body ends up being fat, and the mind still remains skinny, still famished, still hungry. But once you meditate, you give the mind the mind the food that it needs, and it becomes full and content. Yeah. It doesn't want to have anything, doesn't need anything. Meditation gives the mind contentment. Equanimity is actually mean contentment. Okay.
Yes, Prachan. And I would actually go as far as saying that nowadays when I go out for dinner with friends, I know my mindfulness is telling me that you are actually just enjoying, the food. You don't really need it. It's
The
like
one who
guilty
eats,
pleasure.
the one who
Yeah.
eats is the body. You're the mind. You just use the body to eat the food. You just enjoy the pleasure of eating. That's all. But you're not actually eating it.
That's right. And I realize how little the body needs food to function. So I know that why obesity is becoming a problem nowadays. We're just eating way too much.
That's right. Because of the cravings in the mind. Yeah.
So I think the one positive I would take back from reflecting upon last year is that I think my mindfulness is improving. I know I can improve more, but this is something I plan to work on more this year, Prajan, and I hope that with the right meditation practice and with your advice, I will continue to strengthen my mindfulness further this
That's
year.
right. Mindfulness is the most important thing that you have to pay attention to give attention to. Because with mindfulness, everything will follow. Without mindfulness, nothing will follow. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much,
You're
Prajan, for
welcome.
your advice.
Next, Philip from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I'm here just to pay respects and to listen to the conversation. I don't have any questions tonight.
Okay, good. Next, Intan from Indonesia. You plan to come and meditate here at Wat Yan and
Yes,
Kauchion.
Prajan. Good evening, Prajan. Happy New Year. Prajan, thank you for Prajan. Dhamma talk. It's not Dhamma talk. This conversation in last week. At that time, have one statement from Prajan. It changed my mind. Prajan said, think if today is your last day, what will you do? So at that time, I already told Prajan I want to go to Wat Yan, but I not yet sent email because I still think after from Wat Yan, I want go to Singapore or go to Malaysia. So that is because I'm confused. I have not sent email, but when I think Prajan say like that, I think if today is my last day, I just want to focus in the Dhamma way. I don't want anything. So after that, I sent email to Prajan assistant. Actually, at that time, my body is unwell. But I think if I'm not take this opportunity to practice and I decide to Akasila and just eat once a day, I just think even I'm unwell, but still okay if I compare with someone in a critical illness condition. But after a few days, suddenly my left foot cannot walk. Until now, I cannot walk normally. So in my experience, I know this is anicca. When I cannot walk, I really worry how I can go to Wat Yan. In this condition, I cannot walk meditation and also cannot sit meditation. So I want to ask Ajahn if in this condition, so when we cannot sit meditation and also cannot walk meditation, so we just can lay down or sit at the chair and still meditate like that.
Yes, but it might not be as effective because you can get drowsy and sleepy easily when you meditate in lying position. But you just have to make the best of it if that's all that you can do. That's why you should not procrastinate. When you're strong and able, you should put all your effort into meditation now. Because tomorrow you don't know whether you'll be able to do it or not.
Yes.
So don't just kick the bucket down the road. Just do it now.
Because I always think it's okay. I still have time. I believe I can live until old age. So
But no one can guarantee that though, isn't it?
yeah, now I know, just let it be. No need to always, maybe for me, the problem is, I know my progress is too fast. So I always keep balancing between meditation and my job. That is have a problem. So now I know I must let it be. Just if maybe something can happen anytime.
No one knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yes.
So do it now when you can. Okay.
Prajan, I want to ask Prajan. I listen Ajahn Mahaboa Dhamma talk in Samadhi Develop Panya. Ajahn Mahaboa explained when in the condition when we meditate and the condition we can see inside of our body. So we saw one by one and destroy it. So my question, if I can see my part of my body, I also do like that, or I just focus for one part of my body.
Well, the goal of investigating the body is to see the impermanent nature of the body or no self nature of the body. So you want to look at the body and find if there's a self in your body or not. If you tear the body apart, then you say there's no me in the body, right? There's just different parts. So then you can summarize, you can conclude that the body is not you and you're not the body. That's the goal of investigating the 32 parts of the body, to find out that there's no you in this body. And also to see that the body is not attractive. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Prajan.
Okay. Better hurry because time is running out for everyone, me included. We never know when we have to go.
Yes, Prajan.
Okay.
Prajan, I want to ask Prajan, when I practice in Kaujion, Prajan have any suggestions for me to push myself for more, how to say, push myself until the best I can practice meditation. I already practice a fasting method, also practice meditate from night until the morning. Prajan have another method.
You can do a lot of walking meditation if you like. Walk for many hours, 2 or 3 hours at a time.
Yes, I ever do 5.
Okay, then you come back and sit for another 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Just make your sitting and walking longer.
Mm-hmm.
And only sleep about 4 or 5 hours a night. That's all you need.
Okay.
And always mindful all the time. Don't let your mind go back to Indonesia or elsewhere. Just keep it at Kauchion with you.
Yes. Prajan, actually, when we are meditate, more better we use alarm or no need to use alarm. Sometimes I think alarm is disturb me. Like example, if I set meditation at home, I set 2 hours, but sometimes 4 hours is too fast. I
So
just
sit
feel like,
longer. So sit longer.
but it's so more better don't use alarm.
Using what? You say arrow?
Yes.
What is arrow?
To know, now I set meditation 1 hour or 2 hours, so I set a clock for
On the
1 hour or
alarm.
2.
Don't watch the clock. Forget about the clock. Just sit as long as you can, for as long as you can. Unless you have something else to do and you need to remind yourself of the time that you have to do something, then you might use the alarm clock for that. But if you have no appointment, you have nothing to do, then forget about the clock.
So even I can sit from night until morning is okay.
Okay. Sometimes you can sit longer, sometimes you can walk longer. It depends on how you feel. So there's no fixed formula as far as sitting and walking is concerned. Okay.
Thank you, Prajan.
You're welcome. Next up, Apalachita from Dubai.
Good evening, Prajan.
Good evening to you. Hope all is well.
Yes, all is well. I have to travel a little bit for some of my yoga stuff, but I guess that will happen in a few weeks. But other than that, all okay.
You have to go abroad again.
Yes, this time because I have to take an exam, so I have to go. So I was, but hopefully it'll not take too long. But I'm back again. Yes. But I will be hopefully attending the meeting if possible. But next week I'm here.
Okay, good.
And I continue to practice. And so thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Rick Cooper. Where are you from, sir?
Thank you, Ajahn, for your teaching. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, where are you from?
I'm sorry, I'm from Ohio
Okay.
in the United
You know,
States.
you know Masha? We have another
Yeah.
person from Ohio sometime attending this meeting also. No.
Oh no, I don't. No. Um, I find myself, I'm like Steph mentioned earlier, I'm about an 8-9 year point, and my meditations are consistent with 2 to 3 hours per day. I had heart surgery 6 months ago, and they opened up my chest and everything. And since then, my mind is racing. This morning, I did a 2-hour sit, for example, and my mind tends to tanha, crave or desire progression in my meditation, and that I'm seeking that progression. So when things are still and the smile on my face is there, for example, it seems that I'm reaching for, should I be doing 32 parts? Should I be concentrating on the body? Should I switch over to insight meditation? But I'm staying with the breath, but my mind will start to deceive me in this level of ignorance and try to take me down a path where I'm progressing. I feel that I need to be progressing. And so I find myself in a quandary. Before I sit, I will a lot of times listen to a Dhamma talk and try to prepare myself for the stillness. I get into the stillness, and then the stillness is so wonderful, but yet the desire for some progress is still there. Now, I'm not looking for the immaterial, or I'm not really looking for anything specific. It's just desire for growth, desire for development. That craving comes up, and I really go back to the breath, and it jerks me away, and I go back to the breath, and it jerks me away. And so my quandary is, how do I settle this down so that I can rest in the equanimity and the tranquility that's been gifted to me during this period, but yet I need more, and I got to get away from that need more.
Well, see, when you meditate for equanimity, once you reach that point, you try to stay there for as long as you can. And then after that, I will come out from that stillness and start to think. Then you can start developing vipassana or wisdom to get more equanimity from wisdom now. Mindfulness can only give you a certain level of wisdom, of equanimity. If you want more equanimity or longer equanimity, you have to use wisdom. The wisdom will be able to suppress your cravings, which causing your equanimity to decrease. Like your attachment to your body, your craving for the body not to get old, not to get sick, and not to die. What you want to do is to study the nature of the body to see that it has to get old, get sick, and die. And just craving for it not to get old, get sick, and die, it's counterproductive. It's causing you to lose the equanimity, and you start to have stress and anxiety from that. But once you study and understand and accept the nature of the body, that is anicca, impermanent, having been born, it will get old, get sick, and die. So you just have to let go of this craving and accept aging, sickness, and death as a natural thing that you will have to face. Once you can do that, then you can eliminate the craving that causing you to lose your equanimity. See? So you can have equanimity even after you come out of your meditation by using wisdom to eliminate the cravings that causing the equanimity to disappear from your mind.
So let me ask you, Ajahn, at the point that I have this peace, this equanimity, it's not, I can pursue the body. I can start to look for sensations, or I can do those kind of things. And that's not wrong, because I'm beating myself up saying, why did you let go of that? Why didn't you just stay there?
No, ideally you want to, once you're in equanimity, you want to maintain it as long as possible without using the mind to do it. And until you're not able to keep it in equanimity and your mind start to think, then you tell the mind to think by studying the nature of the body.
Right.
So that you can get a true understanding of the body. That is impermanent, it's gonna get old, get sick and die. And you should not deny this fact, this truth. By denying, you're causing your mind to become restless and agitated and frustrated.
Yes. I get that totally, yes. But I can, within this very comfortable state of a sit, I can pursue this. I can think these thoughts of consideration to the body, or consideration of the evolution of the wisdom, without feeling uncomfortable about it. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Then I can I can stop beating myself up for that, thinking that I'm messing up my meditation. I can go forward with that process and see what turns up.
Yes, your meditation only gives you a certain level of equanimity. Once you reach that point, if you want to maintain it after you come out, then you need to use wisdom to suppress your defilement. The defilement is the one that causing your equanimity to disappear after you come out from meditation. And when your mind accepts the truth, then you can suppress the defilement, because the defilement doesn't want to accept the truth.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Do you understand?
Yes, it is clear
to you?
to me. Very clear. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. And besides the aging, sickness, and nature of the body, you want to study the non-self nature. That the body is not in the body. You're in the mind that investigating the body. And by going through the 32 parts, you find that there's no mind in the body at all.
I can honestly say, without the Dhamma and without anatta, anicca, I don't know how I would have ever went through the heart surgery that I went through. I was able to detach the mind from the body, and it was a smooth flow.
That's right. No suffering, because you know that you're not the one who's hurting. It's the body, and the body is not you.
Yeah, right. And so I found that my practice had really progressed very nicely as a result of my having gone through that. And I say to my wife and to my friends that probably my heart surgery was one of the most progressive points of my life when it comes to my practice.
That's right. You need crisis to develop your mind. No pain, no gain. That's the saying go.
And there was a lot of pain, trust me. But it was the body. It wasn't not I. You know.
And you need the near-death experience to push your mind to separate from the body, to give up the body.
And that's exactly what it did.
Yes. Then you should have no fear of death anymore.
No. I was good. Going was good. I had no fear of death. So I had done a lot of death meditation over the last 9 years or so. And I was very comfortable with that.
That's good. And no fear of pain either.
No, you know, the pain was there, but it was an aspect like a pair of shoes. It was just on me, you know?
Yes.
The body,
that's right.
I should say.
Yeah, that's good. And if you want to go further with the investigation of body, you should study the asupa nature of the body.
Once a week, always.
If you still have any sexual cravings, then you have to use the asupa to get rid of it.
Right. I have no sexual desires or anything like that. I'm kind of a student of Bhikkhu Bodhi, who's right here in New York, right by me. And the things that I get, the influence that I have from his talks as well as yours. And I might just say, when I've only been coming to this talk for about 3 weeks, and I just happened to pick one up and recording, and you said something that just really hit me. And it was somebody was saying something about what they're dealing with, and you just said simply break it down. And it was so profound for me, because every issue, if you just break it down, the body, it's just elements, the mind is just fleeting, and impermanent. So I just break it down.
Good. Okay, no self. Everything, there's no self in anything. Even the mind is not a self. The mind is just an element, a knowing element.
Thank you,
Okay,
Ajahn.
good. Okay. You're welcome to join us anytime, okay?
Yes, sir, I'll be here.
All right. Good to see you. Good to talk to you. Next, Samanji from Sri Lanka. Go ahead. You can talk now. You have turned on your microphone.
Hello, Tanajan. You can hear
Yes.
me? Tanajan, in a while ago, you said something. Hope I got what you said correct. Something to the effect that Ajahn
Ajahn
said Ajahn Monk said he sort of communicated with the Buddha during deep meditation.
Yes.
But my question is, the Buddhas are enlightened ones, and after attaining Parinibbana, they no longer exist. How is such a meeting possible?
They exist in the spiritual realm. See, they don't exist in the physical realm anymore. They don't take rebirth, but it doesn't mean that they disappear. The mind is still there. The mind is still there, and the mind still have the ability to connect with other mind.
Okay. That means even as arhants, their minds won't die. So
No, your mind or no, the arahant mind don't die. The difference is that the arahant mind anymore doesn't go grab a new body, but our mind still defile, so we still grab a new body when we lose this old body.
that means they exist as spiritual beings, or no?
That's right. They're spiritual being,
Okay.
but they don't have any any craving for anything, so they don't take birth in any realms of existence.
Okay. Okay, Tanajan. Then my next question is, Tanajan, the Buddhas are usually born in India, but each Buddha chooses a different tree, such as Bodhi tree or Asattu tree. Why do they choose different trees? Is there a specific reason?
Because the tree was there for him to meditate.
No, I mean some
There's
Buddhists.
no choice. It just
no
happened to be
choice.
there. He
Okay.
needs a tree to meditate. So he
Okay.
found a tree, and so he sat there, and it happens to be a Bodhi tree.
Okay.
It could be a mango tree or durian tree. Who
Okay.
knows?
Okay, Tanajan. Yes. And my next question is, we often feel victimized and believe our rights are being denied. I mean, it's human nature to blame others when bad things happen to us. And but how can we take responsibility for what happens in our lives instead of blaming others?
Well, the Buddha said it's our karma that brought us here. See, so blame the karma, and the karma is you who make the karma. You did the karma of being born, so you have to pay the consequence of being born. Everything that happens to you because you are born, you take birth. If you didn't take birth, then nothing will happen to you, right?
Okay, Tanaja. Now, if we meditate daily, focusing on our breath, And if we can maintain focus without being disturbed by our thoughts, does it mean that we are progressing in our meditation?
Yes, the calmer the mind becomes, the more you are progressing until you get into jhana, become totally still, peaceful and happy and content.
Okay. And can we become a Sotapanna through meditation alone? Sometimes
No. You need to
Yeah.
develop wisdom. You have to see the
Okay.
nature of the body as being impermanent and no self, and also see the nature of feeling as impermanent
Okay.
and no self.
Dhanajan, sometimes I feel that listening to Dhamma talks and reading books bring me close to the Buddha's path than doing meditation alone. Is it?
It's just a feeling. It's not true, because without meditation you will not be able to get into the spirit of the teaching itself, the real thing itself. Right now you're just reading about the teaching about the truth, but you're not facing the truth yet. You have to meditate to get your mind inside. Once your mind inside, then you'll get to see the truth face to face.
Okay, Dhanajan.
You'll see the Four Noble Truth face to face.
Okay. And Dhanajan, should a meditator eat less? I mean,
If you're lazy and drowsy, then it's probably because you eat too much.
okay. So is it always better to have 2 meals per day? Or
One meal is enough.
one? Okay, that's now this is sort of a general question. How can someone with food cravings, like for sweets, overcome them through maybe through practicing meditation or something? How to
You just have
overcome?
you have to set up a resolution
Okay.
first, and then stick to your resolution. I'm giving up sweet. I'm not going to have anything sweet.
Okay. Okay, that's all I have to do.
Okay,
Okay. Nice talking to you. Wish you good health and
you're welcome. Next, Ricardo from Uruguay. You sent a message last week, right? You sent a question in last week. Did you listen to the answer?
Actually did not.
So you
Hello.
you can ask again.
Yes. First of all, Happy New Year. Thanks for all your talks. And the question I asked was the basic difference between sati and
Sampajana.
Sampajana.
Sati is mindfulness. Sampajana is continuous. So when you have sampajana, it means you have continuous mindfulness.
Okay.
Because mindfulness, usually when we start practicing mindfulness, it comes on and off, right? It's not continuous yet.
Yeah, right.
So you want to make it continuous. When it becomes continuous, then we call it sampajana, sati sampajana.
Okay.
All the time, always on. Ever mindful.
Because I've seen these two words together, as you said right now, sati
Yes.
sampajana.
When you start, you only have sati, but not sampajana yet. Because sometimes you have it, sometimes you lose it.
Yeah,
But as you keep developing, then eventually you have continuous mindfulness. Then you have sampajana, sati sampajana.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. As a new year, I make a purpose to work harder and practice more this year. So I've been doing it, and also I think as an Western, I need first the intellectual part, like readings and all that. So I'm reading a book from Ajahn that it's don't take your life personally. don't take your life personally in Spanish. And it's very good. And it's talking about especially the consciousness, vijnana. And yeah, and it helps me a lot to understand first and then take it to the practice. So if you have any advice, please tell me.
Oh, I usually don't pay much attention to this thing more than the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path.
Right.
You need you need to understand the Four Noble Truths, because that's the core. That's where suffering starts, and that's where suffering ends. And our practice is to end suffering. So we have to know the origin of suffering. It comes from our cravings. And to get rid of our cravings, we have to see that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta, so we can stop cravings.
All right. All right. All right. Okay. Thank you. And the last question would be metta, loving kindness. Also, I take it very intellectual. I try to make it practice all day long as much as I can. But I don't know if that's the way it should work.
No, metta only you do metta when you're meeting people. Like right now, you say hello, you act nice and kind to people. You don't want to say something or do something that will hurt other people. This is metta. If somebody makes you angry, you should forgive it. You should forgive him or her. This is metta, not just contemplating. This is not metta. Metta is when you should do it when you're in action. Do it by action, not by contemplation. Contemplation is only to remind you that you should be nice and kind to people when you meet them. In a way, you should be Santa Claus when you meet people. Yeah, make people happy. This is metta.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Sometimes
Okay.
people get
Thank you
lost. They
very
think
much.
that people think that by contemplating on metta, you have metta. You don't have metta yet. You have to apply it in real life.
Action.
In action, when you're meeting people.
All right.
When you get angry at people, you don't have metta anymore. But when you forgive, then you can get rid of your anger and okay, I forgive, no problem. Yeah. Or when you give something, you give gifts to people. You buy a pair of shoes for someone, then you make that person happy. This is metta. Okay, not by contemplating alone. Yes, you need to contemplate to know how to be metta, but then you have to apply it in real life. Okay.
Very, very deep, very important to me, and deep gratitude for your teachings, Ajahn.
You're welcome.
Hope to be there next November.
Okay, that's another year, huh? Almost a year. Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Next, Diana.
Bye.
Anjali from Canada. Can you hear me, Diana? Okay.
Yeah. Namo Buddhaya, Ajahn Suchart.
Yes, how are you?
Well, yes.
What can I do for you?
Yes, I had some questions about I've been trying to add the sixth precept for a few months stably. And my question is, how effective is it if it doesn't, the no food after 12 for helping meditation and Dhamma path practice? how helpful is it if it's not met right at 12? Like, what is the general understanding and rule about the timing? Like
The
if
timing, I think you can probably adjust according to your situation. But the goal is to not eat too much, that's all. And not try to eat after midday. You can plus or minus an hour or so if you have to. If you're working and you cannot eat before 12 o'clock because you start working at 12 for lunch, then you just have to move 1 hour later. That's all.
yes, that's what I was asking, because I would get a little bit.
Yeah, just to be being practical. See?
Yeah, because that's what I've done. Though, like on Friday and some other day, it cannot really happen as hard as I try. So I try to split the food intake in two. So at least like at 12, I can finish the second half. But then like my mind was thinking, oh, it's not a real precept. But then I ended up putting that out of my mind and said, well, no, it's just happened that way. And then I would just like continue, not do the dinner. And then it seemed like it still worked. So, okay. And also from the last week, there was a talk about like, having a little bit of a craving in the evening for this and for that. And I had a question about honey, like if honey was allowed for the evening or if it was considered breaking the precept.
Yes, honey is allowed. Honey, sugar, oil, butter, and cheese even are allowed. These are the five things that are allowed by the Buddha.
What was the last one? Which C?
Cheese and butter.
Oh, cheese and butter. Okay, yeah. Because sometimes for medicine, I end up using honey, and then I was thinking I wanted to ask you for that.
Yes. Okay. But it should be used for medicine, not for food.
Yeah. Like if I have a sore throat, I end up taking honey, lemon, and honey.
Yes, you can use that. You can do that.
Okay.
Or you feel you're losing some energy and you want to gain some energy, you can take some sugar or some sweet.
Mm-hmm. I did a few days with just water instead of juice, and I'm still experimenting with that. Mm-hmm. Because I'm noticing how sometimes the mind would play a trick, and the mind is wanting like a sensation, like something, right? So, some other question I had about practice, I don't know, went on my mind. I wanted to share how when I first joined the Zoom, I had many times question about, feeling hurt. And finally I experienced like a shift where I saw some other people like the weather. I wasn't sure how to see the other person and their behavior towards me, the weather, because it felt like the mind made it so personal. So I was able to finally experience some detachment in one case from my work situations from last year, and then I tried to extend it to some other people in that same situation, and so I was able to experience a little bit of this. The one that you were sharing, like the other person is like the weather, like it's just like that's how they are. And then something that you shared with me about my daughter, that's how she is in her behaviors and ways, and that also has been helpful for me to just gain more patience in my parenting with my daughter. And I was able to extend it to my mother. However, there I'm still it's still very I'm not sure, but like physically I start experiencing a lot of aversion. So I'm still, and not enough mindfulness. So it's still a challenge, and I find myself in aversion towards my aversion. So it's like an unbreakable cycle. So I'm still working on that.
You need more equanimity by using mindfulness, reciting a mantra. When you feel stressful or feel aversion for something, recite anicca, dukkha, anatta, or anatta, anatta, anatta. Natural phenomenon. They are natural phenomenon.
Yeah, now that I think back to this last situation, I was just like, I started to experience like just very suddenly so much unpleasant sensation in my body that I can't even recall if I was using a mantra at that time, but it just overwhelmed me in the end.
Everything is natural phenomenon. Everything is like the weather. You just have to take it. Bad, green it, and bad, and green it.
Okay, I'll reflect more on that.
Mm-hmm.
How to embody it in my practice. And
because you cannot control them. You cannot turn them off or on like a switch. Like
which part? I
everything,
cannot turn.
Everything you cannot turn them on or off as you like. They come and go as they like, but you cannot force them to come and go as you like.
Yeah, that's exactly what was happening in that moment, like what you described right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you just have to let go. Just let go and just be observing. Don't react. Just observe.
Okay. I was able to add some time to my morning practice, so that's like that's good news. So at least I'm able to do the sitting practice for the morning. I'm hoping it will help me with equanimity and the mindfulness. So that's just
right.
like
The sitting meditation will give you more equanimity, so that you'll be able to see things as being natural phenomena.
I feel a little disappointed. It's not as strong as it used to be when I used to meditate daily, but I'm hoping it.
That's right. The more you meditate, then the stronger your mind, the calmer your mind will be.
Okay. So hopefully, if like I'm trying to just take one thing and spend some time like just establishing it, like with the food, and now with this morning practice, and the goal is to add the evening sitting session also. I'm just finding my daughter is asking a lot for my attention in the evening, so it hasn't really been happening. She's asking me to spend time with her and to pay attention. What can I do?
You can ask her to join your meditation.
I did this morning. Okay, I'm gonna try to do that this evening. Yeah. Well, maybe tomorrow because she's got
that will also help to calm her down. Then she will be less bothersome to you.
Say it again.
You meditate with her will reduce her restlessness, and then she will be less bothersome to you.
Okay, that's a good way for me to see it. Yeah, I didn't think of that last night.
Okay. Ask her to join your meditation.
Okay. I was doing before, and then at some point I just felt like I was like forcing her a little too much, so I gave her a little break.
It's okay to force something good for her.
Yeah. Okay. So this morning she sat with us on the Zoom for like 15 minutes. She had a timer on, and then she got up and went to do some of her own things. So yeah. It's again I wanted to share that this conflict I had about providing the social activity for my daughter, and it seemed that once I did it mindfully, I really saw that in the moment it seemed like so important, the social event, the social activity. As parents, as a parent, I always hear other parents signing up their children every evening after school for something, and feeling a lot of pressure, to just provide. And I decided to cut that back a little bit, because I saw that it wasn't like the idea is that there's going to be this great benefit of it. And that's like the mind thinking it, but in the end, I didn't see that great benefit. Just a lot of rushing around and thinking that there's benefit. So I was able to reduce it for this for the second half of the school year, we're just gonna do just one thing a week, and the rest of the time we could have like for Dhamma sitting practice and for the mindful walking. And there, I just don't have a lot of parents who are whom I know with children who are trying to parent and implement their lifestyles that way. So in case it's helpful for some people when they hear this.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you.
That'll be all for now.
Yeah, nothing comes to mind. Just very grateful to always have the support. And
Okay, always happy to help. Next, Jason from Cambodia. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Tanajan. Hello, everybody.
Is this your first time?
I'm really happy to be in your presence. I was doing a lot of traveling. I was there in November, and this is the first opportunity I've attended the online, and it's just so nice to be in your presence. I'm getting over a cold. Recently got back to the US, so I got a change in my Cambodia. I'm in Florida right now.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. When I was there and spoke with you, the direction was to develop my vocabulary of mindfulness. And I've been working on that, and I've noticed some improvement, but really want to strive to where it's continuous. And so the discussion today has been really helpful, inspiring, and motivating. And I appreciate that we've spoken about food as well. I find that that's an area of challenge for me. I've done some long distance backpacking, and the first long distance backpacking trail I did, I noticed I developed an unhealthy relationship with food in some respects, where I'd go into a town and I would binge eat because I was in such a calorie deficit. And when I get to, say, for example, monasteries, and I have certain approaches to food, I can experience like food insecurity. Like I might not be able to get enough of what I eat, and then I overeat, or I put too much in my bowl. So these discussions today have been really helpful. I'm taking away a lot from that. And I'm just finding myself as that is an avenue that I tend to escape in and indulge in sensuality. Like there's certain things I've renounced in the practice, but I find that food is one that, you know, I eat every day, right? And so I find that I escape in that. So in addition to what we've talked about so far, I wonder if you might add anything else in how I can practice discipline and restraint with my intake regarding food.
Well, and one method is to look at the unattractive nature of food once it enters your body. Think of the food in your mouth, in your stomach, or when you pass it out.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at this kind of food, then you can reduce your cravings on food. Think how it's dirty, how it looks unattractive. Once you chew it with your saliva, just imagine how it looks like when you're in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
If you should have to spit it out, you probably won't be able to take it back in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is one way of dealing with food, craving for food.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think of the food on the plate. Think of the food in your mouth or in your stomach.
Okay.
It's a little bit difficult to do, but you know, if you want to stop your craving, this is the way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do want to strive to possibly incorporate that precept into my practice. I have in the past done it, you know, on Uposatha, and of course when I'm at the monastery. You know, I was thinking about it, and right now, you know, I eat as part of a family, the one thing I was kind of thinking about is, you know, going out to eat and what that would look like, you know, that I would have to move away from like going out to restaurants at night and that kind of thing. But anyway, it's something I would like to work towards. And so it's an area that I want to continue the mindfulness with.
Yeah, you can look at the journey of the food from plate to toilet bowl.
Yeah. We spent all this money for all this delicious food,
Yeah,
and
just to throw away into the toilet bowl.
yeah, nobody wants it on the way out. I heard that said. Well, thank you so much, Tanajan. It's
Okay,
truly a
you're
pleasure.
welcome.
All the best people.
You plan to come back again?
Oh yes, I'm not sure how long I'll be in the States. It's really nice to be back because I feel like I have more time to practice. I feel like I made improvement with being able to devote time to practicing throughout my travels. But now that I'm back, I feel like I have even more time. So I'll be back for a little bit. So this is a good time. I came into the group at 8 this morning, so it works nicely. So yes, I do plan to come back. So I look forward to that. Thank you.
Okay.
And I do want to come back to Wat Yan. So
Yeah, okay.
I miss it. I miss it quite a bit. I
Yeah.
miss in your presence.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Sadhu.
welcome. You're welcome. Next, Belinda from Singapore.
Good evening, Tanajan. That's a helpful discussion. Thank you. I'm learning.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go to Sri and check our last participant for today.
Greetings.
Greetings,
Tanajan.
Yes, anything to offer?
I love the discussion with Professor last week. I learned that like dukkha is actually coming from desire, right? Like let's say we have a bodily pain, it's not considered dukkha unless we have a desire to get rid of the bodily pain, right? Like if we have
That's right, because the craving or the desire is the one that causes the mental suffering to appear.
So the physical pain is not considered, like it's not dukkha unless like we don't want it, right? Like we have then it's called dukkha, right?
It is dukkha, but it's not as excruciating as the mental dukkha. See, the mind can live with the physical dukkha, but it cannot live with its own dukkha created by the cravings. See? This is much more painful.
So when the Buddha talks about the first noble truth,
He's talking about mental dukkha, not the physical dukkha.
He's talking about the dukkha that is created
by the cravings or the desire.
Okay.
The desire not to get old, the desire not to get sick, the desire not to die. These are the ones that cause the mind to have excruciating pain, excruciating suffering.
Excruciating. Well, it's like it's a lot.
Very strong, very unbearable pain.
But we can
we can stop this to bring it down to zero.
Zero.
By accepting the truth, by accepting the body will have to get old, get sick, and die. Accepting aging, sickness, and death. Then the mind will be in equanimity, no pain.
Equanimity.
But when you have craving, then the mind will lose the equanimity and become restless, agitated, and painful. Stressful.
Yeah.
So we are here to stop our cravings or desire. Because all cravings and desire will lead to suffering, to mental suffering.
Yes.
Then normally when our body becomes painful, our body also become painful.
Oh,
But with the Buddha mind, his mind is not painful when the body becomes painful. His body can still become painful, but his mind doesn't become painful with the body. So that's what we want to train our mind to be calm and not reacting to the physical pain. Let the physical pain be, just be merely observing, acknowledging. Don't deny the pain. Don't try to get rid of the pain. Because when you try to get rid of it and you cannot get rid of it, then you become more mentally painful. Or when you have aversion to the pain, to the physical pain, then you have strong mental pain from your aversion to the physical pain. Okay.
yes. Just like what Rick Cooper described just now about his surgery in the heart.
Yes.
He's calm, yeah, and he can, yeah.
The mind accept the truth, sickness, aging, and death.
Yeah.
So the mind remain peaceful and have equanimity in equanimity.
Right.
All right. What about you, Sri?
I was thinking like, Ajahn, we need sati to get to jhana, but how about sati sampajana? Is it after jhana then mind become?
No, you need sampajana before you can get into jhana. Not the other way around.
Okay. So develop sati, then sati sampajana, then
Yeah.
jhana.
When you first develop your sati, it's still on and off, right? Sometimes you forget, sometimes you are mindful, sometimes you're not mindful. And you want to make this mindful to be continuous. Once it becomes continuous, then entering into jhana is very easy. You can do it in 5 minutes. Then when you have jhana, you have equanimity. So when you come out, when you first come out of meditation, you still have some equanimity with you. But as soon as you have cravings for something, then this equanimity will be destroyed by the cravings. So you want to get rid of the cravings to protect your equanimity by seeing everything that you crave for as dukkha, because they are anicca, anatta.
Yep.
Okay, when you see that everything is dukkha, you don't want it, right? If you see your wife is dukkha, you don't want to have a wife, you know. But if you see your wife is a source of happiness, then you still want to have a wife. But if you see your wife as a source of dukkha, then you don't want to have her anymore. But it's too late now. You already have her.
It's too late.
Unless you can get a divorce.
No chance. No chance at all.
You still see her as happiness, right? You don't see her as dukkha. You still see her as sukha.
So here goes my jhana.
So you never have jhana, you never have equanimity. But when you lose her, you will become very sad if something should happen to her.
That's the dukkha.
Yeah, that's a dukkha will happen. Okay, but it's too late now. You're gonna have to get dukkha sooner or later.
No matter what, yeah.
Unless you intentionally let go of your attachment to her and ready to accept her departure anytime.
Yeah, oh, that's possible. So, Ajahn, let's say one is has a family life, can they still develop like jhana, so, and get on to first stage of enlightenment?
If you have strong mindfulness, that's continuous mindfulness, And if you can see anicca, dukkha, anatta in the body,
And the family.
everything, everything physical is anicca, dukkha, anatta. Your body or your family body, your wife's body is all anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Oh, okay. Then we have a chance.
Yes.
Then this person will have a chance to develop jhanas, then equanimous.
Yeah, you need the time to be alone though, to be able to have continuous mindfulness. Because if you're dealing with people, then you have to think and talk to people. Then you forget your mindfulness. Because your mindfulness is not to think, but when you have to meet people, then you have to think to talk to them.
Yes.
So it's difficult as a layman. You have to become a monk and live in the forest by yourself. Or most of the time by yourself in a forest monastery. And when you come out to meet people, you don't talk to them. You try to stay mindful with whatever you do. Like if you're on arms round, you just be mindful of your arms collecting. You don't talk to people. You stay quiet and mindful of what you do only. Then this will make it. Then you will have continuous mindfulness. And then when you meditate, you can enter into jhana quite easily and quickly. Okay, we're running out of time for today.
Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. I'll go to Kunjup for more questions if there's any.
กราบนมัสการท่านอาจารย์ค่ะ We have 7 questions from Facebook. The first question is from Mini Pool. Bow to Ajahn Suchart, a few questions. Number 1, is suffering dementia a result of bad karma?
No, it's a result of not having mindfulness.
Question 2, if one is mentally challenged this life, does he need to experience a number of lives before his mind returns to be normal?
You can bring it back to normal if you can develop enough mindfulness.
Question 3, if Elon Musk donate 1 million and an ordinary people with net worth of 1 million donate 10,000, whose merits are bigger? Thank you, Ajahn.
It depends on the percentage of your wealth that you donate to. If you both donate 10%, then you have the same merit. The amount might be different. 10% of 1 billion is what? 100 million. 10% of 1,000 is what? 100. So, but you will have the same merit because it depends on the percentage, not on the amount itself.
The next question is from Paul Lim. Tanajan, is it breaking the precept when I tell the tax agent to declare my tax returns in the way to avoid tax and pay less tax?
If you're not telling the truth, then you're lying, right? Then you're breaking the precept.
What about the tax agent who takes instructions to avoid tax? Is it breaking the precept?
Yes, you break the precept too. Both of you do. The one who tells and the one who do it, they're both breaking the precepts.
Next question is from Aimee. Hi, Tanajan. I recently watched a documentary of a great artist whom he committed suicide. What is the Buddha's teaching in ending one's own life? Satu.
Ending one's own life doesn't solve problem because we end life because our mind is so stressful, we cannot continue on living. So by killing the body doesn't stop the stress in the mind. To make the mind become peaceful, get rid of the stress, you have to kill the cravings in the mind. So you're killing the wrong person. Instead of killing the cravings, you kill the body, which has nothing to do with your stress.
And the last question is from Pauline Soon. Ajahn, what is the advantage when we meditate on a day lunar 15?
Doesn't matter which day, they're all the same.
That is all, Ka.
Okay. I think that's about all the time we have for today. Thank you for your company. I hope this meeting is beneficial to you and can help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, please stay, be mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.
สาธุเจ้าค่ะ
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajahn.